can I tell the difference between a northern water snake and a northern cottonmouth snake? Where are these snakes located in Virginia?
So now we're going to talk with an expert and find out where northern cottonmouth snakes are found in Virginia and the difference between northern water snakes and northern cottonmouths.
First off, to identify a cottonmouth or any of our other snakes, you need to determine if the snake that you're looking at is a venomous species or a harmless species. And in Virginia, this is very easy to distinguish because our three venomous species all have elliptical vertical pupils like a cat's eye. They have a heat-sensing pit, which looks like an extra nostril, but there's actually a pit and a nostril on each side. And the harmless snakes of Virginia, all of them, have round pupils like we do, and they don't have a pit. To distinguish these from a distance. And we're going to be now talking specifically about the venomous cottonmouth, which is the main subject of our little discussion today. If you look at the body of the cottonmouth, you'll see that the bands that go across the back are widest on the sides and narrow in the middle of the back. If you're familiar with the copperhead, which is a close relative of the cottonmouth, the same characteristics are true. The dark bands are wide on the side, narrow in the middle of the back. The harmless species is just the opposite. Another characteristic of the cottonmouth in this normal adult example here, it has a black tail, which is kind of unusual compared to the harmless species. But it is similar to another venomous snake, the other venomous snake found in Virginia, which is the timber rattlesnake, and they often have a black tail. But the cottonmouth typically looks like the one you see in this picture. However, now, because of the misconceptions about the cottonmouth, which is often called the water moccasin, that's not a term we use because of the confusion with the various harmless snakes that live in the water, and they look awful mean, but they're not, and they don't have the same characteristics as we've already seen in the cottonmouth. So we have a little quiz here for you. Out of these pictures, all taken in Virginia, some hefty looking snakes there, but which ones are venomous? So the answers are, the only one of these snakes that is a cottonmouth is the lower middle snake. And that, as you can see, it's easy to tell with all the white markings around the face that you see there, and you can also see the elliptical pupils, even if you wouldn't be able to see it out in the wild that easily. But that one is definitely, obviously, the cottonmouth. These others are all northern water snakes. Very widespread, very common, harmless species is found all over Virginia, and they are constantly being killed because people think they're cottonmouths, but they're not. They will have triangular shaped heads especially if they're frightened, like this one is, and so you can't go by that old saw, the triangular shaped heads, because a lot of the harmless snakes have triangular shaped heads when they're frightened. If you look at the skull of one of our venomous pit vipers, you'll see that the fangs show up here And in real life, they're covered up when their mouth is closed, and then they can erect those fangs as needed. So that's quite different than our harmless snakes. Here we see the skull of a rat snake, which is very common, very large snake that we have, but you don't see fangs like that. They do have teeth though. Okay, now we're talking about the environments, the habitats that the cottonmouth lives in, and it's a very wide variety of wetland areas that they can survive in, but as we've seen in Virginia, they are subject to getting killed out of areas that don't have enough cover. So the type of swampland and marshlands that can provide a lot of vegetative cover for the cottonmouths is their benefit. So we have the habitats. We just need to stop shooting them. The harmless water snakes are also found in these very same habitats. So it's a great opportunity to learn the difference.